of other professions don't have.
Hold on.
What happened?
I saw nothing.
Oh boy.
What's up?
Tony, I can see you.
We can all see you.
The sky into their mailbox just yet, but the companies do say they will scale up the program if it is successful, guys.
Very cool. We love it, Will. Thank you.
Ever since the start of this whole thing, Zoom has been making headlines. Of course, there were the negative ones questioning Zoom's security and if it was really a safe application to use. But there were also the funny ones, such as the Good Morning America reporter caught without pants on live stream, or the judge that didn't realize his camera was on, caught running a court session topless. As you can see, there have been plenty of funny headlines regarding people getting exposed on Zoom. And given the fact that we could also probably use a good laugh right now, we decided to count down the top 10 people that were exposed on Zoom calls. What's going down, guys? Welcome back to InformOverload. I'm your host, Bronstein, and today we got a fun list to count down. Before we get into it, let me know if you've been using Zoom to work from home or have any funny stories regarding Zoom calls. As always, we've got some bloopers and common replies to wrap things up, but for now, we're gonna get right into this one with number 10. So starting us off at number 10, poor Jennifer. Now this video may have been the most popular or most viral example on this list, and was also one of the first of many incidents where someone was going to expose themselves on Zoom. In Jennifer's case, well, she had to go to the bathroom during her meeting, and it seems she really didn't want to miss out on what was being said, so she took her laptop with her. Now Jennifer either forgot she was on camera or didn't even know she was being seen in the first place because, as you can imagine, after placing her laptop down, she dropped her pants and took a seat. Almost immediately, her colleagues saw what was going on, but it took Jennifer a good 8 seconds or so before she turned the laptop around and eventually left the chat. Whoever was speaking was clearly oblivious to it all, asking what happened when she's interrupted by laughs and everyone's reaction to Jennifer's mistake. One guy even chimes in and says, "I saw nothing," while another woman can be heard saying, "Poor Jennifer." Of course, on the flip side of things, people were calling out whoever initially leaked the video, saying whoever did so should be held responsible. Then there were also the people who thought the whole thing was staged, which, yeah, it's also possible, I guess. Let me know your stance on that below. People were saying that, whoever leaked it could get charged. Interesting to, now that I think about it, that's interesting. Moving on to number 9, Will Reeve. The ABC News reporter was covering his story from the comfort of his own home, much like the entire IO team has been doing. See, the only difference between Will and I is that when we film, I stand, and clearly Will likes to sit. At least when he was reporting a story on drones delivering prescriptions while on air with Good Morning America, he was sitting down. Now, why is this important? Well, because if Will wasn't sitting down, we probably wouldn't have been able to see that he wasn't wearing pants. Like me currently. You guys literally have no idea if I'm wearing pants or not. I could literally be filming every single video. I might not even be wearing underwear. I might be going fully commando right now, and you guys have no idea. All joking aside though, guys, Will Reeve fully got caught with his pants down on live TV. It seems the way that his camera was angled unfortunately showed a little more than Will was originally expecting, leading him to tweet out, I quote, "Trying to be efficient, I got ready for a post-GMA workout a little too soon this morning. The camera angle, along with friends, family, and several hundred strangers on social media, made me rethink my morning routine. Any sartorial tips from these people who are wearing a belt, trousers, and shoes during their work video calls at home are most welcome. Now back to work, wearing pants," end quote. At least Will got a good laugh out of it too. On to number 8, Heather Wheeler. So Heather is a member of Parliament for South Derbyshire and was on a Zoom call to talk about our current pandemic, addressing the House of Commons. I looked up how to say it. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. I know I say names wrong a lot. I looked up how to say South Derbyshire, and that's what I found. So is it South Derbyshire? Hopefully. While mentioning some of the fundraising efforts that have not gone unnoticed by the public, Heather, for whatever reason, thought her microphone was no longer working. As she was going into detail about these fundraisers, she cut herself off saying, "Oh, hell." After a few moments of silence, Speaker Sir Lindsay Hoyle then told Wheeler to carry on, to which she went right back into it, almost as if nothing had happened. Although I feel Heather was simply saying what we're all feeling, it's unclear if she's going to publicly need to address the situation. You know how it is in politics, everything is all so political and stuff. But it was recorded, as they didn't know technically what she said in the conversation, so they did not write the words "oh effing hell" in the transcript. So on to number 7, Tiffany Haddish. Yeah, apparently no one is safe from being exposed on Zoom. While appearing on Ellen's show via live stream, Tiffany went into detail about how she went through a very similar experience to what poor Jennifer went through. Yeah, Tiffany was on a Zoom call, had to go to the bathroom, and took her phone with her. She thought the only person you could see is the person on the screen, which is usually the one talking. However, after she started doing her thing, apparently whoever else was in the meeting told her straight up they could see her going to the bathroom. That's awkward. But according to Tiffany, somehow she was still able to sell a TV show during the meeting, so maybe the lighthearted flub actually worked out in her favor. I don't know. Would I do that? Yeah, I think I would for a TV show. Now moving on to number 6, Judge Carmo Antonio de Souza. The 57-year-old Brazilian judge appeared on a live stream court hearing alongside 4 other colleagues, but people were shocked to see de Souza topless, sipping a coffee when his camera first turned on. At first, his camera opens on his face, but shortly after, he could be seen getting up, barely dressed, before returning to the camera wearing his proper attire. The Amapá State Court of Justice, where de Souza works, released a statement in favor of the 57-year-old judge. The statement reads that, quote, Carmo Antonio de Souza, without realizing that his equipment was turned on, minutes before the official start of the session, briefly appeared topless. After clarifying the accident occurred because technically the camera turned on before the session was supposed to start, the statement goes on to read, I quote, the practice of carrying out judicial sessions by video conference is a recent development. In this sense, the occurrence of incidents such as this is perfectly understandable, end quote. And it is perfectly understandable. This has just been a big adjustment, very drastically. It's still funny as hell. Guy just showed up without a shirt. What if I just showed up on camera and started filming myself without a shirt? I know you guys would like that. I know some of you would. Now halfway at number 5, Harvey Jones. Guy's a complete legend. During a counselor's meeting, Jones, who was a counselor for the city of Bronstein in Australia, was caught tossing a few back. Now normally I'd say drinking on the job is a big no-no, especially when you're talking about spending the public's money and all. But there's more to the story than Jones being caught drinking. Apparently, they were in the middle of what was a 4-hour-long Zoom meeting. 4 hours? I mean, do you blame the guy? I need a few drinks too. Of course, other counselors spoke out against Jones's actions, saying, I quote, counselors should not be drinking throughout a council meeting while we spend ratepayers' money. We as a council were making decisions about our $40 million budget, end quote. Jones explained when the meeting started, he was finishing his post-work cider, and during the meeting, he had a couple of glasses of wine with dinner. Now I agree he shouldn't drink on the job, but it seems he was drinking off the clock and working through dinner. I mean, when does the guy get a break? I'm also just trying to play devil's advocate here, guys. Don't drink on the job. Obviously, he shouldn't be doing that, and maybe he knew that he had this meeting, so he shouldn't have been drinking, but hey, guy's still a legend in my books. It seems this list is full of politicians, which is why at number 4, we got Vaughan Gething. The Labour, Health and Social Services Minister in Wales is clearly having a tough time trying to understand how this whole Zoom thing works. While still on a call with a good, I don't know, 20 people or so, Gething started ripping into one of his colleagues, clearly unaware that everyone could hear and see him saying these things. Assuming he was having a conversation in private, Gething goes on to express his displeasure with how the meeting played out, specifically calling out one of his colleagues, asking what the F is the matter with her. While this is going down, the majority of other politicians still in the Zoom call can either be seen covering their face or mouth out of pure shock or embarrassment. However, after a few seconds of Gething revealing how he feels, someone chimes in and tells him he's unmuted. The meeting then proceeds with whoever was running the show to encourage everyone to mute their microphones, specifically calling out Gething, which, yeah, I don't blame them because, you know, like fully, imagine there's like a blooper of me just talking trash about one of the hosts and it just gets leaked. I would never put that on camera. I'm joking, guys. I love all the hosts. I would never talk trash. It was a joke. Relax. At number 3, Republican Senator Scott Jensen. Jensen is the vice chair of the Senate Health and Human Services Committee. So when it was revealed that he was golfing during a committee hearing, well, as you can imagine, people weren't too happy. I don't blame them. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic and one of the top guys in your state is out golfing with his buddies while the rest of the state is talking about ways to move in the right direction. I don't need to laugh, but I honestly can't help it because it doesn't seem like Scott was trying to hide the fact that he was even golfing. Throughout the meeting, he could be seen sitting in the golf cart, chatting with other golfing buddies at one point, and in the middle of the meeting, another senator even chimed in to ask how he's hitting them out there. Ugh, America. Now moving on to number 2, Tony. So I don't know if this one was staged or not, but it was just so pure that I felt it needed to be at number 2. It's unclear what the group was meeting about, but Tony and 3 of his colleagues appeared to wrap up the meeting, leading to Tony wanting to get a good stretch in, I guess. However, he had no idea the camera and mic were still rolling, so when he got up and showed the 3 others he wasn't wearing any pants, they had a field day. But things get even better as